What is wrong with the world? And more importantly, how do we fix it? These are a couple of big questions. Questions that I imagine people have been deliberating for millennia. So it may seem a little bit arrogant of me to presume that I can answer these questions for you today. But nevertheless, I do believe I can. You see, I think the problem is everyone wants it to be complicated. If it's complicated, then we have a good excuse not to bother trying. But if it's really simple, then we don't have that excuse. So what is wrong with the world? I think anyone who takes a very close look, they will come to the same conclusion as me. There's simply not enough love. Although that sounds a little bit hippie-ish, so let me put it another way. We have forgotten how big our family is. To demonstrate my point, imagine your great times another 20 times, right? Grandfather. Now this is a man who very likely had a completely different way of life to you, completely different set of beliefs. This is a man who probably shat against a tree. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they had a very different appearance, for they had a completely different environment and therefore their body would have adapted in different ways. Now this is someone who you would, I imagine, you would consider this person your family. But I ask you now, do you think you would have more in common with that person, this distant relative of yours? Or do you think you'd have more in common with someone like Jean-Pierre in Paris right now, or Augustus from Nigeria, or fucking Henry from England? You know, it doesn't matter who, but anyone living now, you are bound to have more in common with them, I would feel, than some 2,000-year-old ancestor. And in fact, maybe even a better way to look at this whole family aspect is to consider there's been a long-standing debate going on for again, a millennia perhaps. And that debate is it nature or nurture that has the greatest impact on who we become as people? So we clearly already understand that DNA is only half the story. So if our internal DNA, our genetics, if anyone we share this with is our family, then surely the other part of our DNA, the external DNA, our environment, if this also plays a role in who we become, then that should also, be a part of our family. So anyone who we share our environment with, they are our family, more so than someone who lived thousands and thousands of years ago. So that's what I think is wrong with the world. We seem to have forgotten how big our family is, and therefore we continue to make decisions that hurt our family, our extended family that we try to pretend aren't our family. So how do we fix this? Well, it's pretty simple. If you've ever played dominoes, then you will know that you only have to knock down that one domino, and it does not take long at all until all of them fall. So, if you were to decide that you wanted to make an impact on the world today, or better yet, if you were to decide that you no longer want to make things worse, which we all do, all of us, even me, as much as I try, it's really hard not to participate in society, and by participating in it, we ultimately make things worse. That's unavoidable. We're given power to a system that oppresses. So, if you were to decide that you wanted to do something good, and you went out there today and looked for someone who typically you would not expect that you could establish a friendship with, and you just sparked up a conversation with this person, sure, they would probably be like, what the fuck is going on here? It would be a little bit awkward for a time. But if you could overcome that awkwardness and get a conversation going, until you discover something about that person that gives you a reason to consider their well-being important to you. And, of course, for them to consider your well-being important to them. Then what you've just done there is you've established a bond. You've now given yourself a reason not to do something that will impact that person's life negatively. Now, if after you've made this new friend, you encourage them to go and make a new friend with someone who they typically would not have expected to be able to establish a friendship with, then this is the domino effect in play now. And if everyone who listened to this this video right now went and done this, how long do you think it would be before we have sown seeds of community so deep that you could walk down the street and everyone you walk past would be tied to you in some way or tied to someone that you know? And when we get to that stage, there is no way that we will continue to participate in a system that breeds oppression, suffering, and pain. We wouldn't be able to, because that is what makes family family. Family are the people that you won't do things that are going to impact them negatively, if you can help it, you know. So this is my thoughts anyway on how we can quite genuinely save the world, and it really is simple. You just have to be willing to try. I've been trying to do this myself when I've been walking my dog recently, but one person is not enough. So, if you want to do more, or if you want to do less harm, then I encourage you to go out there and make a friend today. And encourage your new friend to make a friend. Thanks for listening.